As humans who are afraid of mortality, we have a morbid tendency to deal with our fear of death by trying to understand it. It intrigues us. It's not a coincidence that most of us love action movies where everybody dies except for the hero who overcomes his enemies and stays alive. This is our wish, to stay alive. We want to be that hero. Now, of course, such scenes happen only in the movies, such as 5-minute fistfights, because in reality, 2-3 punches in the face would land even the toughest person in the hospital for several months. Our morbid attraction to violent events does not sum up to movies alone. Our eyes are fixated on the screen when it shows a tsunami in Japan, the Twin Towers collapse, a plane crash, and other disasters. If we get stuck in a traffic jam on an intercity highway, chances are that it was created because the drivers before us slowed down to take a look at an accident that just happened. Many years ago, curiosity got the better of me and I watched an ISIS execution clip. I've seen many horror films with severed heads, fountains of blood, people on fire, so what is another execution? So I started watching, and I will spare you the description, but a few seconds were enough for me to slam the laptop and run to the bathroom. I discovered something. Reality is not a movie. The mind really differentiates between film and reality. And this is why we do not get too excited when Leonardo DiCaprio sinks with the Titanic in the film, but we do become traumatized from a real cruel execution of an innocent person. You want to avoid a bad event that you will regret experiencing? Don't enter it into your memory in the first place. If you happen to pass by an accident that is already being handled by the rescue forces, move on. Don't stop to look. Do not search on YouTube for the surgery you are about to undergo. That's a very bad idea. Is this the spleen and the gallbladder? This is what it looks like? For everyone? Because I thought mine looks better, neater. I prefer to die than have my body probed into this way. And if you are already unintentionally present at a traumatic event, neutralize your thoughts and pessimistic worries immediately. I received an email from a doctor who was with a tour group when suddenly one of the group members, who was with his 12-year-old daughter, had a heart attack. He told me that during the local paramedics' resuscitation efforts, while the daughter stared with horror at her unconscious father being evacuated in the ambulance, he remembered my book and understood that he must prevent the girl from experiencing the trauma of the event. So he took her aside and explained how the heart works and that this is an event that can happen to the human body and that Daddy is now receiving good care that can help him and that everything will be okay. Instead of leaving the child worried, he neutralized the situation in advance. So if you or your relatives are present at an event that may be traumatic, remember that you need to resuscitate yourselves emotionally to prevent the trauma by creating an optimistic, positive alternative story instead of worrying about something that most chances may turn out fine anyhow. Because what's the point in worrying about something that has not happened yet? Why develop false anxieties? I have a friend who told me with self-depreciating humor that every time the doorbell rings, she asks herself, who could that be? 1. A murderer. 2. The police notifying me that someone was murdered. 3. Perhaps the book I ordered on positive thinking. So let's choose the third option and imagine that the book arrives with the pizza delivery man, even though we did not order pizza.